If you give this headphone a 5-star review on Amazon and then send the company a screenshot of your review, they may give you 50 rupees or a pouch. And that is not the best introduction for this company, but today we are going to check out one of the most requested products that people wanted me to review. It is the OneOdio Pro 10 headphones, and these are supposed to deliver never before seen sound quality in this price range. So we are going to check if they can deliver to the hype. And I am also going to compare these with M50x, M40x and JBL Quantum 100 because a popular YouTuber has mentioned that they come close to M50x in sound quality, which is a really extraordinary claim. Hey guys, I am Siddharth and let's get started. Inside the box, you get a cable with microphone. Then you get another very interesting coil cable with a 6.5mm jack on one side. You get a paper that tells you about that 50 rupees gift offer if you give them 5 stars on Amazon. You get a carrying pouch which has a decent quality and is very usable. And then finally you get to the headphones. The design of the headphones is pretty good for the price. I am not a fan of chrome plastic, but on this headphone it's not overdone, so it's fine. The headband with red stitching looks great, and they have actually used metal in the headband adjustment mechanism, which I was surprised to see at this price. The build quality of these headphones is also really great. You can stretch it without problems, and even the hinges for the ear cups for both axes are strong and don't feel like they will break easily. The other design elements like the texture on the ear cups and use of 4 screws on each side of the headband will really make you feel like this is a more expensive headphone. These also fold inside for ease of carrying around. And the ear cups also swivel 90 degrees, which is really convenient for hanging them around your neck. This is a design that is definitely inspired by the M50x, but they have executed this in a very good way, and that too at its low price point, so I don't mind that. You can also control the media playback with this button in the mic cable, and the quality of the mic is also decent enough. The headphone also has a 3.5mm and a 6.5mm input connectors, which is something that I really haven't seen in a headphone, and a really cool thing that you can do is that you can insert another headphone into this unused jack, and that way you can listen to multiple headphones. If you are doing professional work, you can also use these as pass-through monitors and send the audio signal to a recorder. Coming to comfort, I think that is the biggest drawback with these headphones. The headband is something that I have no complaints about, as it does have good cushioning and they do have ear cups that are very large. But the holes for your ears in the ear cups are quite small, and round ear cups need a lot of space to be comfortable. The ear pad cushions are also not great on these, so it's not easy for me to wear them even for 15 minutes. But I do have big ears and I wear glasses. If you don't wear glasses, it will be better, but it is still not something that I would consider calling comfortable by any extent. This is really not a problem considering the price, and I have earpads that cost more than these headphones, so I was not expecting a lot. But it's the only bad thing about these headphones, as it is really great in all other aspects. The earpads are actually replaceable on these, so you may actually be able to find a fitting replacement and fix this comfort issue. They also have a Pro 50 model, and that seems to have way better earpads with same or better drivers, so you can also check that out through the links in the video description. By the way, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with bell icon so you don't miss out on future videos like this very boring Wi-Fi range extender. Finally, coming to the sound quality, I really wasn't expecting these to sound even 50% as good as how they sound at this price point. All of the other headphones that I have tried in this price range have really not come anywhere close to how complete they sound and how relatively balanced their sound is. These are not flat sounding, so it's not going to be a replacement for higher end monitoring headphones. But unlike the typical headphone that you find in this price point, the bass and treble have a much better balance with their slightly V-shaped sound signature. The bass is slightly boosted, but in a very good way, and it is very enjoyable. And people who have only tried budget headphones are really in for a treat when they try this, because it hits hard while still maintaining speed and detail that you will only find in headphones that are much more expensive than these. The mid-range is also really good, but vocals are more forward than I like, but it still sounds great. The treble is also really great. It's also boosted, but it's not harsh sounding except in some tracks. The reason for that is probably a very high peak at around 3 kHz frequency range, and you can try to make it sound way better and less harsh by using these equalizer settings that I roughly calculated in 15 minutes with 2 tracks. Now the extension of the high frequency range is not amazing like the more expensive headphones, but the fact that I can even think about comparing these to M40x is something that I never thought I would be able to do with a headphone in this price range. The soundstage is again outstanding, and it really adds to the overall quality of these headphones and makes them very enjoyable. Now these are said to come close to Audio-Technica M50x in sound quality, so I also compared it with these, but the thing about M50x is that it sucks big time in comparison to the cheaper M40x, and I have made a video on these two explaining the reasons for that. So first I compared it with M40x because that actually offers even better sound quality for cheaper, and M40x sounds a lot flatter than these, and the high frequency extension is much better. But what sets OneOdio headphones apart is that it is relatively balanced compared to the bass boosted headphones that completely crush other frequencies with the boominess in their bass, which is what you find in this price range. So when you try the OneOdio headphone, you do feel like you can compare these with headphones like M40x and M50x because it really doesn't sound like belonging to the budget headphone category. With comparison to M50x, it's also a similar story, except M50x has boosted bass and treble, which makes it sound worse than M40x, but its sound signature is closer to that of this OneOdio headphone. I also compared these with JBL Quantum 100, which costs 2500 rupees, and the Quantum 100 offers way better comfort, and the high frequency range on JBL headphone is also better and more balanced. But the overall sound quality on the OneOdio headphone is better because of their amazing bass, and Quantum 100 have below neutral bass, which people looking for enjoying bass-centric music will really not like. So these are totally worth the hype, and they do deliver sound quality that is jaw-dropping in this segment. I really won't say that they come close to something like M40x or M50x, but they are good enough that you can make a comparison and point out where the M40x is better. And that is something that I really haven't been able to say for headphone in this price range. The only big drawback with these headphones is how uncomfortable they are. So if you have big ears and can't tolerate uncomfortable headphones, then this can actually become a deal breaker for you. In which case, you can try the JBL Quantum 100 if you don't mind their lack of bass in comparison to these, or if you would prefer better high quality frequency range over really good bass. I also really don't like the fact that they are making their customers post 5-star reviews for a possibility of 50 rupees reward, because that just invalidates all the positive feedback that they are getting on Amazon. It is a completely shameless move, and what makes it even worse is the fact that they have a product that is actually really amazing in this price range, so they really don't need to do this. And that was it for this video. I hope my viewers who commented that I covered these headphones are happy. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it or a thumbs down if you disliked it. Subscribe with bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.